bottom falls out or the rest of that division, particularly the Steelers, get their act together and somehow find a way to sneak into the wild card and beat out the Bengals by a game or something, or knock them out in the wild card.
Because the Broncos have proven they're trash, but the Chargers are 3-2 and the Chiefs are 5-0. And shout out to Courtside because I think Mikael's gonna go to the Raiders Chargers game in December, and I think the Chiefs and the Rams play this year, so that should be an interesting game. But the Ravens have like the best defense in football, and they're 3-2, so they're gonna make this division ugly. The AFC South low key is mad trash. So who do you think is really gonna make it out? Legitimately, because I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking like quarterback play this division is ass. Like even with Andrew Luck trying to play better, I don't really see who even wins 9 games at this rate of the season.
I think you hope that the Jaguars get Fournette back and right and bought in. Otherwise, is there a better player than DeAndre Hopkins in that entire division?
No. I mean, J.J. Watt and his brother are tied for the league in sacks.
That gives the Texans enough
with Clowney
to potentially get there. I mean, Watson,
the corners are
he's
trash.
been good, but
that offensive line is trash, and their running backs are
trash. So
I don't know how Lamar Miller is this trash. Like their offensive line can't be.
He hasn't been trash though. He's been solid. He's just not that good.
He wasn't good he was way better in Miami in his first year in Houston. I get they have that run scheme, but they need to get better offensive linemen because it's just like it's not happening. It hasn't happened. And I honestly feel like they're going to look back and realize, damn, we missed a golden window for a Super Bowl run because we wouldn't draft. I mean, yeah, they didn't have a pick till the 3rd round.
I feel like there's an issue right now just overall in the league because players just really aren't getting developed, like both in the pros and in college. Like,
because Tom Brady said something like,
we're not seeing enough receivers convert. We're seeing a lot of first-round busts. Quarterbacks have been trash forever. We already know that. And now offensive linemen aren't even like a sure bet. I mean, they never really were, but now they're definitely not a sure bet because you either take a chance on an athletic guy at the top of the draft or you hold out for a dude who's more polished and has more experience with less ceiling and less athleticism.
Yeah.
So there's really an issue there. And on top of that, corners are trash. Transitioning.
Corners aren't trash.
Safeties are trash transitioning because they usually move to linebacker nowadays.
I can believe the safety thing, but it's more the free safety position.
And linebackers are in a similar position as offensive linemen, where you either take an experienced guy late or you take the athlete early, and either way is a crapshoot. So honestly,
shout out to Jesse Bates. He's actually having a defensive player of the year type season. Free safety out of Wake Forest, playing really good for the Bengals this year.
Honestly, I think there's an issue with the way players are being developed. And really, I think there's an issue just overall. It starts with the top, man. Coaching. Like, it's odd to me that we see elements of the college game come in, hit, and then go. Like, and they're just done.
Do you think it's more just the coaches being trash? Because there's a lot of trash coaches who are just – these trash coordinators are getting head coaching jobs, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, I know it's switched from being like a head guy.
They want to get away from the college game, but they know that that's how these players are developed and what they do well.
That's what still works.
Exactly. So it's like –
look at Saquon.
So it's like it's a mixed bag, and it really just comes down to coaching and leadership. And people wanting to do things the way it's always been done instead of accepting the fact that maybe the game has changed. And maybe instead of getting away from college elements right when they stop working, maybe we should just keep hammering those in. Like you keep hammering in fullback dives and a bunch of other bullshit that doesn't work anymore. Fullback
dive, you don't, unless you play for Georgia Tech, there's no fullback dive.
Yeah.
First off. But it's more of spread, but like spread concepts that make sense. But even more than that, you have guys who are talented, but you don't fit the scheme to what they can do. So then you knock them for not working within the scheme, but then you don't let them do what they're naturally good at. It's like when they kept trying to make Jadeveon Clowney a linebacker. Nah, he's a defensive end. Get him going upfield. And when they did that, he had like an all-pro season last year. Or something close to all-pro. He had like an all-pro run defender type season because he's big as hell. He's strong as hell. Functionally strong. Not like in terms of just natural strength in terms of like the combine because he didn't really lift all that much. But he's strong enough in converting speed to power. And he shoots the gap well. And he's a nuisance. And he's probably going to have over 10 sacks this year. And they're going to have to pay him. And you still have Whitney Merciless. But I'm saying with guys who are good, who could just fit a system, and you just develop them and let them play their role, I'm surprised more teams aren't doing that. They're just, the coach is like, I'm running the scheme the way I want to do it. And you're seeing a lot of trash-ass football out there. And that excludes all the horrible pass rushing, roughing the passer penalties and all that.
Yeah, man, but while we're on that topic, let's go ahead and get to college football. There's a bunch of stories you want to talk about, specifically college basically going to a free agency system.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's going to happen now is what's already happening. I'll precursor this with the Kelly Bryant update. So he had visits to like North Carolina, I think Virginia, and some other schools. And honestly, they brought it up on College Football Live. Emmanuel Acho and Jonathan Vilma. You should be, if you played at a high level at Clemson and you want a shot at the NFL, you should be looking at schools that can have the potential to get to a playoff and really are just a quarterback away. And you market yourself to those schools first rather than, let's say, going to a smaller school and just padding your stats. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe it isn't. But for a guy who's a senior, there's a tight end for Arizona State left. He played his 4 games and then transferred out. Receiver for Oklahoma State, McCluskey, who was one of their leading receivers, he's transferring. It's about 6 or 7 guys that have come out on Twitter, on social media, that are announcing like, "Yo, I didn't play past 4 games, so I still maintain the year. I'm transferring and going somewhere else." And honestly, that's the best thing possible. It's going to help a lot of schools, like let's say UCLA. They already have Wilton Spite, the Michigan transfer, who didn't really do anything, and he's hurt. But schools are going to get more transfers that, let's say, can need it. Like let's say you want to go to like Appalachian State, and you played at Alabama. And you're a 5-star recruit who's a 4-string running back, but you're at Alabama. You go
just getting CTE and hurting your shoulders and
destroying your knees, just grinding down your knees pretty much every day. Or you're a linebacker. You can do what Alvin Kamara did.
I'm getting trapped by white girls.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the trapped by white girls thing. But anyway, look what Alvin Kamara did. Highly rated prospect. Wasn't getting much playing time in Alabama. Went to Tennessee. Is in the NFL. Boom, bong. There it is. And boom. Anyway. You have... I don't like the people who are coming out saying it's a bad thing and it's ruining team chemistry. First off, if they're not the starter, they're not getting play time.
Wait. Whoa. Hold on. Let's back up here.
That narrative is heavily...
Let's back up here.
Okay.
Don't you have an issue with the fact that this is already kind of happening on the high school level?
Oh, that's the foundation of high school now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, so you have an issue with it in high school, but you don't have an issue with it in college?
No. I'm saying I have an issue. Time out. I have an issue with people saying, "Oh, it messes up team chemistry." It's like, no. This is what they should be allowed to do.
No. Well, you're
that's the point I was
sidestep. We're not talking about your point. I'm talking about your points in the previous and the stances that you take.
Okay, I got you. Here's why. High school is different. And honestly,
come on,
bro, there are high school teams right now we know that are never going to be competitive. I don't care if a bunch of players on modern day transfer to a fucking team that hasn't won a game in 10 years. That high school, all of a sudden, you know why it's not going to work? Because it's probably not a rich area. Look where these schools are going to. And Eric, I don't know his last name.
That's the same in college football.
No, it's not, dog. Alvin Kamara with the Tennessee. What the hell when's the last time Tennessee's been competitive?
But that's the point that you're making. That's the point you're making in high school.
That's different from Sean Dollars, who went from a good high school that was probably never going to be modern day to transferring to fucking modern day, and now he was already the number one all-purpose back in high school, and he goes to a team full of pretty much all-stars. And then you play against Florida IMG, which is like pretty much their independent school. So that's different.
I still don't feel like you're addressing the very simple question that I asked you. Why are you for high school players being able to transfer whenever they want, but you're like not for it?
Oh, because like the private schools and the other schools that were really good were getting away with it for years. So you might as well let it be an open thing and let anybody play anywhere they want to. Because literally there are people who get thrown in prison. This lady got thrown in jail because her son didn't live in the district that he played in.
We already talked about this.
Yeah, no, this is a different story.
Oh, okay.
Like her kid wasn't playing sports. It was a black lady. She wanted her kid to go to a better school because the school he was at, they had like holes in the books and shit and just asbestos in the ceiling. It was bad. So she wanted the kid to go to school to get a better education. They threw the mother in jail, I think, for like 10 years or some crazy ass number like that. That's different. In high school, kids just want to get the best opportunity to learn. But the private schools and charter schools have a headlock on that shit. And then some public schools. Narbonne, their head coach, Manny Douglas, got suspended for 2 games for not properly disclosing the roster before the game. And that's when they played Lawndale and a couple other schools. He got suspended for like 2 or 3 games. And you look at other schools like Modern Day, Servite, like a lot of these like Trinity League schools practically.
Okay, get back to college because that was your original point. I got it.
Bottom line is it's different in college to where who's the Alabama, like how many Alabamas are there in high school football? Like a lot. The best teams in every state. There's De La Salle, like the Texas high school football in itself, Pennsylvania, Florida, California. Those are all 50 states. Hawaii, like that's different than the NCAA, where everybody's going towards one circular point. You could be the best you could be the best team in high school, and then your players get to college, and we never hear from them again. You get a team full of 5 stars to say we're going to transfer and go to Boise State. Boise State's just elevated as a program now, whereas nobody gives a shit about that high school that has a bunch of transfers.
But you were just saying that if 5 players go there,
different model.
You were just saying if like 5-star players go to a team like
Boise State.
Appalachian State or Boise State or whatever, that it's not going to make a difference. They're not going to win a national championship
against Alabama. No, but it brings up the profile of the school. No.
I'm confused on your whole stance on both these issues. But honestly, we don't really have enough time, so you can figure it out and talk about it next week.
We do, yeah. We do. I'll explain this all later. Bottom line is, college makes way more money than high school football.
So you think because of that, players should be able to
it's a smaller field.
freely.
There's less teams, and everybody. It's more about the institutional structure of the NCAA. Whereas all these other high school districts, they all have their own rules. It's the Wild Wild West. It's like AAU basketball.
Yeah, I'm still lost. Can we talk about the Pac-12 shit? Because that's what I really want to talk about. I'm over this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So basically, the whole Pac-12 situation, your boy Reggie Bush.
Todd McNair won his case.
Yeah, Todd McNair won his case, basically saying that the what's the rule called?
The NCAA's verdict against Todd McNair violated California state law, according to Nathan Fino of the LA Times. What's
the rule called?
He was originally penalized for his role in providing Reggie Bush impermissible benefits.
Okay, I thought you knew this.